Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. Well, howdy, live from Studio A. Welcome to In Wheel Time, your all things automotive car talk show, along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. We've had a technical issue with our Zoom feed, and Zoom, I guess, had been around before COVID, but it certainly it became part of everybody's vocabulary after everybody got locked down with the COVID-19 thing. And
Well, I do Zoom meetings at work as well.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kids are using it for school, and it's become pretty commonplace.
Would have been a good thing to invest in back in January.
Yeah. Who was to know? Who was to know?
China.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I probably need to behave.
Let me do that again.
China.
China.
It's 3 syllables.
China.
China.
Okay, so I wanted to make mention, and he just mentioned it. Houston Motorsports Park. They became part of the NASCAR Home Track Series.
And how great is that, though, to have that association with NASCAR?
Well, it is, and there's certain conditions, certain things that they have to rules,
requirements.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. So big race tonight, Houston Motorsports Park, and if you've never been up there, I would encourage you to consider going.
Super simple to get to.
Super simple. It's off of the East Sam Houston Tollway, and you go west on North Lake Houston Parkway. It's really at the southern end of Lake Houston, and it's easy to get to, and it takes you about 2-3 minutes from the Beltway to get there. It's a great facility. It's a 3/8 mile.
Free parking.
Asphalt oval, and it is part of the Texas Short Track Racing Series. That is a series that Gina Child-Knowles, good friend of mine, has put together, and she's put together a great evening of racing. And so racing gets the green flag at 7 o'clock, and then last time, 2 weeks ago, we were all done by 9:30. So it's not a lingering thing. Of course, a lot of it has to do with how much liquid is applied to the track after a wreck. But
I thought you were saying how much liquid is
oil.
applied to the fans, because it's going to be $1 Coke, $1 hot dogs, and $1 beers.
Yeah, it's a family event, and bring the kids, mask up, social distancing, sanitizers available
Come out and have
there.
fun, because it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it will be. And great crowd a couple of weeks ago, and we're hoping that is going to be a great crowd tonight. That flyover was really, really cool.
And they're going to do it again this time.
Yeah, they're going to do it again.
And then September 26th, I also mentioned this, is Woody's second annual car show at
San Leon.
In San Leon at Topwater Grill.
Woody's Waterfront Car Show is what it's called.
And they're going to be giving out 60 awards. We ate there last year at the end of the show.
We broadcast.
They're going to have great food.
Yeah.
They have wonderful Bloody Marys before the event.
Now, speaking of which, the show.
No, I don't want to. I want to talk about the Bloody Marys.
We're going to come back around to that.
But no, you interrupted the Bloody Mary story. We need to go on with that.
We had quite a few Bloody Marys before the show, and it served us well because it made the show a lot of fun.
Mars?
That it did.
Yes, it did.
So what we're talking about is, at the Waterfront Grill, if you haven't been there, and it's located at 815 Avenue O, then it's right there on the point, and it's right there on the water. And so out on the point, there's a pavilion. It's not really a pavilion.
It's a pavilion.
Yeah, but they've got a bar set up out there, and it's all open on the sides. It's really nice
and you
out
can go
there.
sit in out of the sun if you want to.
So don't bring any alcohol. No alcohol allowed. There will be alcohol available, but you just can't bring
sell
it with you.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we were there, and we set up and we did it, and we've got some video from that we're not going to be able to share today, but we're going to reschedule Woody as well, and we'll do all that. So this year, though, they're going to give away 60 awards.
Is it the end of September?
Yes.
26th.
26th.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And they've got pre-30s through 2020 vehicles for the awards, over 60 of them. They're going to have a band. Jim's Shuffle Band is also going to be playing. So where we were at the pavilion, and that's where we're going to set up again this year, they're going to be at the other end of the parking lot, down by the entrance where you come in.
Okay,
So it's not going to be really a big conflict.
We're not going to be stepping on them or them stepping on us.
No, So that's going to work out really well. And they're going to have some food available out there like we did last year. And there's going to be T-shirts for the first 50 people that register.
Get a free T-shirt.
Yep.
If you get there early enough, register your car.
How much is it to show your car?
I think it's $25.
$25, yes.
Okay.
And you can get a hold of Woody, Michael Wooding at 281-636-6879.
Who's going to remember that?
Or email at classicexpert@outlook.com.
So we can put that up on our Facebook page along with his flyer. We'll put all that up there.
But you can also register the day of the show.
We're telling you this so
your
you can go ahead and plan on this. And, like us, I'm sure you're wondering, well, what about, social distancing and all that? Well, apparently all that's worked out.
Well, this is also outdoors as the race is outdoors.
All
so the rules are a little bit
outdoors.
different.
Well, so is Pac-10 football outdoors, but
yeah,
they canceled that whole
Pac-10.
season.
Who cares about Pac-10? All I'm worried about is Big 12.
Okay.
Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooners, yeah. So, but you go to a car show, and other than the tables and stuff where under the pavilion, you're out, you're walking around, you're looking at the cars. Feel free to wear a mask if you want to. But there's a certain amount of just social distancing that goes on in a car show because you don't want to get up against somebody's car. You don't want to be rubbing it. You don't want to scratch it on it and stuff. And you just make a little more distance than you might typically do when you're talking to the owner.
Well, I think that the real hook here is the scenery.
Oh,
because
you're right on the water.
Right on the point out there on the water. And the restaurant.
Awesome food.
Was it Topwater?
Topwater Grill.
Awesome food.
Yeah, great seafood, good service there. And it's a fun event that'll take up a Saturday. And
if you're not going to bring your car, bring your boat because they have boat parking there
that's
to
right,
go
they
to
do.
the restaurant.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So if you don't want to bring a car, bring a boat.
If you got saltwater pizzazz.
Yeah. And
When
they have
that boat that I had.
So the salt will make the crabs last longer. They'll preserve the crabs.
So Woody was telling me that the Topwater Grill has they've also worked on their outdoor seating. They had they do a lot of fishing tournaments there, so they had some outdoor seating there already. But
for crabbing.
I don't know if you can crab there or not, but I'm sure if you went on the other side of the tracks over
we
there,
used to use chicken necks for crabbing.
Yep.
And then there was this girl. No, never mind. There was that wasn't that didn't
Send
have
your
anything
comments
to do with
to info@inwheeltime.com.
But it's
So Jeff's put a sign out over there on August 28th. Jeff's band is going to be at the Marina Bar in Galveston.
I'm going to hide behind this.
I'm looking for a reason to change the subject, and you gave it to me.
Oh, let's not change the subject. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and.
But Woody's is going to be a hoot.
Let's go.
And you need to come out.
Let's go ahead and talk about all of those things that you never really wanted to talk about before.
It was a great show, and they had some cool cars out there last year. They had a beautiful yellow Rally Oldsmobile 1970 Oldsmobile Rally 350 there. I brought it. It was mine. But the other thing that was there was that 69 L88 Corvette. That was a real well-documented 69 L88 Corvette race car. That was pretty cool. So lots of stuff. We're out there. We will post up some pictures of what was at Woody's last year so you can see, what to expect this year. We had a wonderful video created by a friend of Michael Wooding to show on the show today, but we can't get Zoom up, so we'll probably post it on our Facebook page and our website and the website so you can kind of see what it is.
You know the problem that we had with Zoom?
Thanks for being under the table. Oh, well, here we go. Maybe we found what's disconnected.
No.
Was it really?
No.
Was it really?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not connected to anything. I just thought it'd make you think for a minute.
Well, but thanks, Don. I appreciate that.
Well, we try to keep it stirred up around here at the In Wheel Time show.
And do a very, very good job.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we haven't been
because that would have been on you if that was disconnected because that's
it's going to wind up being
it's
on
on
me.
your table.
No, it will wind up on me. I guarantee you it will. You know, I haven't been married all these many times not to learn a little lesson, and it is always me.
Well, look at this.
Check this out.
See, you plug that in and it works. So these are the cars that were at Woody's last year. Nice and a full range of cars from the 20s all the way up until the 2000s. So some real neat iron out there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That is yeah.
Remember that
nice
there was
stuff.
that yellow '69 Camaro as well. That
Yes, there was.
stunningly beautiful.
Greg Enders brought out his car.
Oh,
as a matter of fact.
his truck. Didn't his truck win? His truck won
His-
overall.
Yeah, it did. With the leather floor mats. Not mats. It was
leather floor and
leather
the leather
floor.
headliner.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So
This you can kind of see the pavilion back there in the background where everything's going to be.
Well, you know, I think that,
headquartered out of.
as I mentioned, I think that the really cool thing about it is
we
it's
had
right
the
out,
CTSV guy on the show.
right out there on the point, and it's a laid-back, fun show. Most of the cars
Here's
were
that
driven.
L88.
Most of the cars were driven there. That one probably was not.
Actually,
But-
I think it was because it drove off the property. He might have drove off
Yeah, I
the
think there
property
was a
into
trailer.
a trailer.
well, yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know.
This is Greg's truck.
That's Greg's
This
truck.
this is the overall winner, this C10, and I don't know how much video they're going to show of it. Oh my gosh, is that truck gorgeous?
It is.
That truck is stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And
But what do you expect? You
that's
know,
still, yeah.
here's the rest of
yeah,
it. Look at the
there's
sparkle and the shine and all the jewelry underneath there.
Yep,
And then
Oh,
I'm
there's-
sorry, I said yellow. It was the white '69 Z28.
my car.
And when Don lusted after.
Yes,
So, yeah, it
as
was.
well as the purveyor.
And you can kind of see some more of the atmosphere
Bloody
and
Marys.
the restaurants there in the background over there in the bay. So it's really nice, really outdoor, particularly if you get a nice cool breeze like we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really nice.
Yeah, it's probably a good reason that I might not go this year.
And this is
because
Biff's
of the
car. We see Biff's car quite frequently at
Bloody
different
Mary
places.
temptation.
Well,
Because you know me and temptation. That's not good.
the other thing they're going to do, they're going to have a drone. The guy that did the video work, he's going to be out there this year. He's going to have a drone with him to kind of get some more overheads, which ought to be really some great shots with the water on both sides.
And he's what? Do you remember the guy's name? Because
he's got a title card in here. It's
he's the
coming
one
up.
who did this video for us, and kind of maybe did a new lead-in video for the show that we're probably going to integrate as soon as we get the time to put it together. But again, Woody's is definitely worth the trip, and it's a bit of a trip because when you leave 45 headed to San Leone,
Spotlight Media.
Media Creations.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and it is September the 26th, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
Saturday,
Okay. You can get more information on the inwheeltime.com
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
and on facebook.com. Okay. Now I want to pause just for a moment and tell you about the podcast that is coming up. And that's going to be airing on Monday, August the 24th. And it is called Bring Back Bronco, The Untold Story. And it is an 8-part series. And on Monday the 24th, we are partnering with this company that's putting together this podcast. And we're going to be offering you the opportunity to download episode 1 of this podcast on Monday, August the 24th, beginning at 1 p.m. Central. It'll be, and I'll give you all of the podcast channels if you're looking for a podcast. But you should look for this podcast. The narrator, the host, is Sonari Glinton. He is formerly with NPR. He does a fantastic job of bringing you into the untold story of the Bronco. And whether you're a Ford fan or a Bronco fan, it doesn't make any difference. You are listening or watching to this show because you're a car fan,
Right.
as we all are.
And there's a lot of history to learn that he brings to the podcast.
Yeah, that truly.
And I think people don't understand a lot of the history of the Bronco and how it was developed chasing the International Scout, but other things around it in its development
and
that
it
made it so special.
it being chased by the police out in L.A. With
Well, but that was the bigger. That was the Bronco based on the F-150. The original Bronco was a short wheelbase little truck, and then as it advanced, has become a monster in the Baja series. Even the old ones that so many people are still racing in Baja.
So this episode 1 is part 1 of an 8-part serial with the 50-year odyssey of blood, sweat, and dirt. Takes you from dizzying heights of the post-war boom to the most watched police chase in American television history, of course, the O.J. Simpson chase, and this year's rebirth of the Bronco. And, all of the pre-orders are already gone on the Bronco and the new Bronco that's coming out.
And there's three of them.
Yes.
There's a two-door, there's a four-door, and then there's the Sport.
Right. But, it's a pretty exciting thing to have a vehicle that so many people are familiar with that's been gone since 1996, but it's coming back.
Right.
It's kind of like when the Camaro was gone for so long, and when in its return, it made huge, major headlines. And in the auto industry, this doesn't happen very often.
And there's a demand for the Bronco to come back, and Ford's kind of reaching that demand. And there's a huge following and loyalty of the Bronco, whether it's the Gen 1 or the Gen 2s. And I think there was altogether about 5 gens.
So, again, that's going to be Monday, August the 24th, available at 1 p.m. on these podcast channels, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict. So you go there, look for In Wheel Time, and on Monday, August the 24th, boop, it'll be there on our In Wheel Time channel. So we encourage you to check that out. Boom, it was there.
That's a technical term.
Yeah, wish we had a little bit of that with Zoom today. Anyway, we got more of the In Wheel Time show right after a quick break.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time car show. We appreciate it, kind of wrapping things up here on this Saturday. We're on the air live every Saturday from 10 to noon Central Time. All right, time now for this week's Mystery Garage. And I got 3 for you. This is from Car Guy Garage, actually, these pictures. And I thought that this would be a garage that, you got a really cool car. Your garage is jam-packed. It's got all sorts of stuff in it, mainly Car Guy stuff. But look at the space he's got to work with. Clearly, he's got the car pulled in there nose first, and you're getting to see the back end of it because he's doing some sort of work on it. But I want you to look at the garage itself. It's a one-car garage, and I know that Jeff Zekin has got houses in his neighborhood that have one-car garages. And I normally don't look at things like that, but there are more one-car garages around these days than I've really paid any attention to.
When you start looking for them, you see them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you really don't notice
And they're
them.
relatively new homes, too. One-car garages. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, the next picture. This is a picture.
It'll come.
This is a picture that reminds me of a very good friend of mine who's deceased now. His name was Bob Green, and he was the Astros radio engineer for decades, back in the Gene Elston days and all of that. And he had a home over in the Memorial area, and he had a 2-car garage, but he needed more space. And he couldn't spread out left or right, couldn't make it any further wider to make it a 3-car garage, except he had space in the back of the property, so he extended the garage in the back. So it would be 2 cars, nose to tail, and then the other one over to the side. And this kind of reminds me of that, because this is a 2-car garage, but clearly there's an extra room in the back there.
The toy storage.
Kind of a drive-through.
Yeah,
the
you
back
drive
wall.
through. Yeah. So if you got the car that you're working on all the time, and you want to have your regular 2 cars that the wife has and that you have in the garage,
So you can
bad
hide your
idea.
toys back there from your wife.
Yeah.
well, there's that.
Or if you just you don't have
But
to
you'll
move them.
notice that back there he's also got things on the wall.
Looks
And
like he stole a street light from somewhere. Stole a stop sign from somewhere, a couple of street signs.
And this is another picture that I came up with. In this, I thought was really cool. This is the Texaco picture, Jeff. And this I thought, what would be really cool would be to, and you know that these facades are in some junkyard somewhere, some of them porcelain, some of them painted, but to actually take your garage and on one wall make it the old Texaco station. Why not? You
or
could
golf or mobile or whatever it is.
Yeah, because you know that these facades are still, they're somewhere, kind of like that place out in Las Vegas where all those famous casino signs are in that guy's one place that you can take a tour of.
All of the real good ones are probably out at Hemi Hideout because I'm sure John has collected any of the real good ones.
Well, I also like the Ranchero in this one.
Oh, I love the Ranchero.
That fit the entire
old Coca-Cola machine.
Yeah.
You know, just a collection of era-appropriate stuff.
I just thought it was really cool. So thank you, Car Guy Garage, for the picks this week, and we'll have more from the Mystery Garage in the weeks to come. Time now for This Week in Automotive History, and Conrad's got that.
So this week in automotive history, Rudolf Diesel received a patent for the internal combustion engine.
There's a man named Diesel.
And he...
Not Vin.
No, not Vin. In 1898, he got his patent for the internal combustion engine. In 1901, the first automobile trip up Pikes Peak, Colorado, was done in an 1899 Locomobile steamer, and it climbed the 14,110 feet. And actually, if you've ever watched Jay Leno's Garage, Jay actually duplicated that feat in a 1899 Locomobile steamer as well, but I think he struggled a little bit because water boils at different temperatures as you go up in the altitude. So, you know, and you got to refill it with water on the way up. In 1907, the first taxi cab took to the streets in New York City, marking the beginning of the love-hate relationship with taxi cabs in New York. Honk, honk. In 1908, Henry Ford's first Model T, affectionately known as the Tin Lizzie, rolled off the assembly line in Detroit, Michigan. In 1935, Mrs. Murrow Whitestone had the last U.S.-built Rolls-Royce delivered to her home on this day.
I didn't know they build Rolls-Royces in the United States.
Rolls-Royce was manufactured up until 1935 in Springfield, Massachusetts. It was just a remote production facility. They still built cars in England, but they had a remote production facility in Springfield, Massachusetts.
I had no clue.
Yeah, the idea was if they broke down or anything, you know, the people didn't want to ship them. I think they did once or twice ship some back to England to get them fixed. They decided no, because of the level of customer service. They created this place in
That's why we do this segment. We learned something. In 1962, Chrysler Corporation was the first auto company to set an industry milestone, announcing a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty in 1962, which I thought was pretty interesting, and now they've kind of gone back to that as well. In 65, the Ford Bronco, which was introduced this week. So kind of all this timing about Bronco is pretty cool. The first Chevy Camaro drove off the manufacturing floor in Norwood, Ohio in 1966. The Hungarian Grand Prix was the first race held inside the Iron Curtain in 1986. And then in 1988, director Francis Ford Coppola released the movie Tucker, The Man and His Dream.
Okay, thank you, sir. We've got This Week in Automotive News coming up in just a sec.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Welcome back. It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, wrapping things up on this Saturday. Don't forget that every Saturday We are live from 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, and we bust up the show into 4 different podcasts throughout the week. Mr. Mars posts those, so you can get it on all of our podcast channels, and we'll go over that in just a moment.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We try to look forward to giving you as many opportunities to catch the show as you possibly can in different venues. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And we're flexible in how we do the show, which we had to be today, considering we couldn't do Zoom audio. But give us a little bit of news, Don.
So, Jeep is in a transformative period of time. By the end of 2021, Jeep will have a varied powertrain portfolio that plays in the electrified and diesel spaces, while its new 3-row options and redesigned Grand Cherokee bring fresh competition to the crossover world. On top of that, a V8-powered Wrangler appears close, which could add an intriguing option in the off-road war with the Bronco. While
that thing got a Hemi?
Yeah. While the premium Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer will play to American appetites for big utility vehicles, the foray into electrification could broaden Jeep's base. All Jeep models will offer electrification by 2022. All Jeep models. Yeah. Steve Wolf, dealer principal at Helfman Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat here in Houston, said the Wagoneer and the more upscale Grand Wagoneer are tailor-made for this market. He's committed to the future of the brand and is building a Jeep showroom at that store to highlight its products. So even dealers are investing in the Jeep brand.
Yeah, that's just south of 59 on Kirby.
No. Well,
yeah.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the one out on Beltway 8?
I-10 just outside the loop.
Outside 610, okay.
That's Wolves. Hyundai launching a global battery electric brand using the Ioniq name from its current hybrid and EV hatchbacks, which I thought was rather interesting since Cadillac is going to start their new naming scheme as IQ. All of the names of the cars will end in IQ, and here is one that's coming from Hyundai ending in
Ioniq. They don't duplicate. So you heard that Challenger is releasing Dodge is releasing the Challenger SRT Super Sport for 2020 here at the end of the year. It's going to be basically a drag race car with the Hellcat motor for $81,000.
It'd be like a Demon.
Right.
It's basically a street legal drag strip car.
Yeah, because the Demon was.
Are they going to sell it for street legal?
Yes.
Unlike the Chevy Camaro Z28.
Well, unlike the Copo Camaros, which aren't street legal, and the Demon was really never street legal either.
Well, the Copo Camaro is the Z28, is it not?
It's one of the Copos is a Z28.
Okay.
But so they're gonna release the SRT Superstock. So they're always releasing some collectible car. They're always releasing some collectible car on the Dodge side of things, you know.
Always, yeah. Well, it certainly has been an interesting show today, and we're glad that you hung in there with us because we don't know what we would do without you. Uh-oh. We don't want all that going on here. But I did want to, Why
not? It's that day.
It's one of those kind
you
of.
You always just push the mute
You know,
button.
and it's what the fun part about all of this is that it just kind of goes hand in hand with the rest of the day.
Our lives.
That's it for today's In Wheel Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like and tell your friends about us. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features, along with all things automotive, all week long, as a matter of fact. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests that didn't make it on the air today.
Yeah, apologies.
The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley, who we wish were here. Our video and marketing man is Jeffrey Zekin. The In Wheel Time Car Show produced and directed by somebody other than me. For booking agent and podcast man, Mike Out of This World Mars, and his royalty king Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now, and we hope you'll join us live every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon. We'll try to get it right next week. Thanks for being part of the In Wheel Time family. Enjoy your weekend. Mask up, be fabulous, wash those nasty hands, stay sanitary. See you tonight at Houston Motorsports Park for Asphalt Circle Track Rating. For now, that's it. Have a good week.